Hey everyone, welcome to The Girls Who Wait, the Geek Girl YouTube show about Doctor Who and more. We are back this week with another and more where we're going to talk about the most recent two episodes of iZombie called Flight of the Living Dead and Virtual Reality Bites. But I am your host, Angela, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Lil.
Hi.
And yeah, so we're just going to go in order. So let's start with Flight of the Living Dead. Now, do you want to give a little synopsis of this episode and me do the next one and then we'll talk about it, or what?
Sure, go ahead, talk. You can give a synopsis.
Oh, okay. I will give you a synopsis of the episode. So, this one starts off with their checking out like a skydiving accident. This one chick jumped out of a tree or jumped out of a plane and landed in a tree, and not in a good way. And so Liv has to eat her brains, finds out that this girl is actually a sorority sister of hers, that her and her sorority sisters like booted out for listening to music too loud or something at night. I don't know. It's sorority stuff. And so we get that whole story where Liv is living this this girl was like a thrill seeker, so the brain she ate is now making her like all thrill seeky. She's riding bikes downstairs and stuff for half the episode. And then you have the other story with Major, where he's trying to find one of the missing kids, Jerome, I think is the name. And so he asks Clive, Ravi, one of the guys, to help him find this kid, and then gets himself into some trouble as well because he's looking for this kid and there's zombies that he doesn't know about the zombies, and he gets beat up. But yeah, so what did you think about this episode? Is there anything you want to add to my little synopsis?
I mean, I think that's like the basic, and we can kind of go over more in depth as we cover the episodes. So yeah, I liked the Flight of the Living Dead a lot because I'm a huge Bradley James fan from the BBC show Merlin. I think it was BBC. I know it's British. And so whenever I saw his character on the plane, I was like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. And of course, Ryan Hansen from Veronica Mars, we get to see some of him on that episode as well. So I thought it was really good. Every week, like with the way they start off the episodes and the characters, I feel like the show is just getting stronger and stronger, and I'm really getting engaged with the characters and the storyline. So I liked this one a lot because it actually took me a while to figure out that the character played by Bradley James, whose name is Lowell, was a zombie. Because when they first sort of lock eyes, you can tell that he knows something about Liv, but I thought they knew each other. I thought somehow they had been involved maybe before she was a zombie, and he was trying to figure out why she looked the way she did. And so it actually took me a little bit to try and figure out that he was actually a zombie, and a lot of it was his hair. Because having seen him in seen him as King Arthur in Merlin, I knew that wasn't his natural hair color. I was like, why does his hair look so bad? Because it was, to me, I think, like almost an obvious like dye job. And it was because he's a zombie and he's trying to cover up, the fact that he has
albino hair.
I think it's interesting that of all the zombies, like Liv is the only one who seems to not care that she looks so completely different. Like all the other zombies kind of like try and cover it up. But anyways, yeah, I liked the episode. I liked them kind of like you weren't really sure where it was going in terms of who killed her friend, who was a sorority sister. And that she did kind of have that thrill-seeking brain, and it did kind of get Liv to go out and do some other things and be a little different, a little exciting. And of course, just meeting Lowell and having a different love interest than Major. Well, I don't know if they're in love yet, but, potential love interest. Because no offense to Major and the fact that he is very attractive, they have no chemistry. Like every time we see Liv and Major together, I just feel like there's not a lot of chemistry on his part. So I'm glad we have somebody else there. But yeah, overall, I really liked that episode a lot. I missed who the killer was like the first time, and I had to go back and watch it again because I was like paying attention to something else. I was like, oh, it's over? What? Oh no, who got killed? Or who did it? But at the same time, I was also really sad it was over because I was really engaged with the episode. So I liked it a lot. How about you?
I also really enjoyed this episode. I'm kind of on edge about the new love interest for Liv because they keep making it such a predominant thing that major this, major that, major this, major that. And I'm just like, I kind of wish we had seen a little bit more of Liv and Major, like before the zombie bit, just so we could have been like, okay, this is why she was so in love with this guy and is going to be with him forever because, you know, she's still kind of clinging on to the, I mean, she had her boss move in with him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's that one thing. And then all of a sudden there's this new guy and she's like, oh, hey, new guy. And yeah, he's hot. But I mean, like, normally if you have this person that you are very emotionally involved with, even though you have this secret and you're trying to protect them, and now you're like, oh, hey, how
Yeah.
you doing? So I'm kind of like, it's very schizophrenic love interest type stuff going on for me. That I'm kind of like, maybe the zombie infestation messed up your head like that or something, but I just wish they would focus on one of those aspects instead of her kind of like this love triangle so fast for me.
Well, I have
Because
to admit, like if you've watched Veronica Mars, I mean with Logan and with
there was a lot of love triangle in Veronica
yeah,
Mars.
who's the first love interest before Logan?
Oh, you had
Of course, I only care about Logan, so I can't remember the other guy's name. But it actually reminds me a lot of that because Veronica liked this other guy first, and then when we go into the episode, you know, you're trying Duncan. That's it. It's you think that Veronica should be with Duncan, and then no, wait, Logan. So honestly, to me, it's very reminiscent of the Duncan, Logan, Veronica love triangle in terms of, you know, one being kind of the bad boy, one being the good one who.
I just feel like it's too fast because it's seriously like the second time they've met, he's like, hey there, baby, I'm going to mac on you. I'm in a band, or I used to be in a band. And
oh, I thought it was cute. I liked him.
I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, I kind of hope they play it out a little bit more. But I also just kind of wanted to pick one because I'm like, okay, we have this Major story, which is going to be predominantly in it. And I mean, with the way Major's getting beat up by zombies, he's going to find out soon what's going on, or at least, you know, some about it. And I mean, so I'm just kind of like, I just feel like she's so easy to stray over to this other guy when there's this other guy here that she was very upset about him sleeping with another girl. And so much so that she, you know, claimed her stake. And now she's over here. So that's just my opinion. And I'm also kind of jumping a little bit too, because we haven't talked about the next episode where more of that happens. So, but yeah, this episode was really, really enjoyable. It was very fast paced.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess they did that too because of the brain she had eaten. She had one of those, like, fast-paced thrill seekers as her brain, so that made the episode kind of move along like that too, which was good. So, and I don't know, I liked this one. So far, they haven't really let me down too much on episodes. So.
Yeah, I agree.
But, so yeah. And so I guess we can just move right on into the next one, which is Virtual Reality Bites. So I'll let you get a synopsis for this one.
So this one, they discover a body that's been dead in the basement of a house for, they estimate, about a week. And at first, they're not sure what has caused his death. They think maybe because he was overweight and looked like he didn't eat right. There was probably a heart attack. Once they get him onto the table, they do the autopsy. They discover that, in fact, it was not a heart attack. And so Liv has no choice but to eat brains that have been rotted for about a week. Which is like super extra gross, in order to discover whether or not he had been murdered, and if so, how. Turns out, of course, he was murdered. And the brains, he was agoraphobia. Is that where you're afraid to leave the house? And so that's interesting and ties into the whole episode about who killed him, how he's involved. And then, of course, at the end of the previous episode, episode 5, Major had gone to try and find one of the kids he mentored and gotten beaten up. And so there's kind of like some tie-ins with episode 6. virtual reality bites, and sort of how he's trying to figure out what's going on with missing persons. And then one of the bad guy, the other evil zombie.
Mm-hmm. That is Blaine.
Blaine. One of
Blay.
his turned to zombie rich people, ends up eating the brains of a kid, and not a kid, he's a teenager, and
He's a delivery boy.
Yeah, and so there's kind of some of that tie-in too going on with Blaine. So that's sort of a lot of things at once in one episode.
Yeah, I thought this episode was hilarious because the dude was an internet troll. That just made my day. The second they're just like, he's an MMO player and an internet troll, and I'm like, and he lives in a basement. This is so many stereotypes.
Yeah.
In one episode. But no, it was a really like interesting way that they found out about like his death and stuff too. So that was really cool, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I thought the most disgusting brain eating happened in this episode where they show her with it in a cup, blended up.
Ew, yes.
And her drinking it, and ew, and how all of a sudden she's like craving donuts and everything. And then when she starts feeling sick from it, when she calls we just said his name, the zombie guy. Lol. She calls Lol. And she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling good. I can't just wait. You're a zombie. I eat some bad brains, and I can't go out. And so it was really funny because she's making up her excuse, and then she's like, why am I telling you this? You're a zombie. You understand this.
I ate crazy person brain, and I can't leave.
I ate rotten brains, and now I'm feeling sick, so I can't go anywhere. There's not happening, no. So I thought that was really funny, just the way that they had her like going, wait a minute, I don't have to lie to you because you're a zombie. So that part did, like, that part of their relationship aspect did make me kind of go, oh, I like how she handled that. But I also, the part towards the end of the episode where her mother is in Blaze, like, restaurant buying stuff, that makes me wonder what they're going to do with that. I'm like, oh no, what? And now they're going to have, like, her little brother working there or something possibly?
Yeah, right?
Weaving those webs.
Yeah, I thought definitely like her eating the brain was really, and then like the whole character was gross because she just ate junk food and like her apartment was covered, like was a mess. I was like, where's her roommate? Like generally they bring her roommate in. Her roommate's not like, what are you doing? There's junk all over the place. I liked too that he had sort of kind of like a disorder, basically. I mean, you know, he had a phobia that kept him from going outside, which kind of explained why he was in his basement all the time. And then how they had her have that fear too, and how they showed that, you know, because I mean, that's a legitimate fear people have, not being able to go out of their house, and sort of representing that. I thought that was a really interesting way of doing it. And then too, in regards to the MMORPG, not only did sort of your stereotypical person play it, but then so did her boss, and then so did the 12-year-old kid. And so I'm glad they didn't focus on the stereotype and being like, oh, it's just scary guys in their basements. Like,
well, and a really fun thing, her boss, Ravi, when he talks about playing a were-terrier, okay, if you're going to read the comic book too, you probably should not listen to what I'm about to say, because they actually did a comic book tie-in with this. They talk about him playing a were-terrier. It seems that the comic book character is like a were-terrier type thing in the comic. So they did that it was kind of cool that they paid a little homage to the comic there, because this show is very, very, very loosely based on the comic. So I was very excited because I bought the first volume and was reading it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what? Yay! So, which I will be doing a review for our channel once I finish the first volume.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was kind of cool that they are keeping little things, trying to keep it, you know, be just for people who have read it as well. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, going back to the love triangle, now that we can talk about this episode. You know, when Lowell comes to visit her and tries to bring her some meds to help her like get out of the house, you know, and we get sort of like an almost kiss. Admittedly, I really liked that, and I did think that the kiss at the end of the episode was too quick. So I really like their
That's more of
relationship.
what I was talking about.
Yeah. So like I like the almost kiss that sort of like, oh wait, I'm not ready for that. And I really would have preferred her to just go and find Lowell at the end of the episode and say, hey, I like you. Let's do something with this. And then them like gone out for drinks or gone off hand in hand into the sunset. I did feel like the kiss was her like almost trying too hard to get over Major.
Well, and I mean, you're going to have that too, because Major now realizes, oh, hey, she's still, because her boss told him that straight out, that, or told her that he's like, he kind of assumes you're still kind of laying claim. So.
Now, was it, and of course, this was the end of this episode where we find out the police chief is also a zombie because he puts hot sauce into his coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells, is it Clive? To back off from the missing persons cases. You know, he's like, we're not missing persons, we're homicide. You need to, that's not your department. Stay out of that. And then, you know, puts hot sauce in his coffee. And that, I was like, really? Like, why are all these people able to dye their hair and tan their skin and not look like Liv? I get that there's going to be other zombies, and I'm trying to accept that. But I felt like that one was a little bit of a stretch going back.
You're like, there's way too many zombies in this town.
There are. And for like them to be working in the police department, and he never thought, oh, I could probably get my own brain somewhere. I don't have to be under the thumb of.
Well, and now we have one less zombie though, because Blake kills the lady that he, like, I kind of feel like that character was super throwaway because he was using her to get money, but now she's all of a sudden totally indisposable, and he can just get rid of her 2 or 3 episodes later.
Well, but we also saw the list, you know, a few episodes before that of like all these clients that apparently he's turned into zombies. So,
but you still figure he would have not be getting rid of his clients, even if one of them slipped up, because the dude's her food wasn't in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully we'll figure some more of this out, but.
Yeah. Now, how many more episodes? Obviously, there's a new episode tonight airing on the CW.
3, I think. I think there's 3, maybe 2. Let me double check real quick. 7, 8. There are 9 episodes, so 3 more left. Because there's a new one airing tonight, and then next week and the next week.
Awesome. Well, I really hope it gets renewed. I mean, it sounds like, from what Rob Thomas has said, it's been doing really well on the CW. And so, you guys, if you've watched all the way to the end of this episode, and for some reason,
I sure hope you've watched all of them.
Like, go watch the show on Hulu or whatever. Just watch the show. It's so awesome. I love it. It
is really, really fun. And if you have watched this episode all the way through and haven't watched the episodes, I'm really sorry. We will be putting spoilers in the title of this because we forgot to give the spoiler announcement right at the beginning.
It should be at this point.
Yeah. But we still want to be safe, so we don't have people fussing at us. We want to be nice.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm not nice. I'm Slytherin. I'm not nice. I don't care.
Same here, but we still want to make sure we don't have people yelling at us on YouTube. So, but no, I'm really enjoying this show. I'm really, really excited that I really hope it gets a second season because I want to see what more they're going to do with it. So,
yeah, I'd like to see a full season.
Well, I think 9 episodes may be a full season.
No, I meant like 22. Like not just a. I mean, it is a full season in terms of like they're doing a beginning, middle, and an end, but like a full 22 episodes, like next year.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about this episode. We'll be back with more episodes next time, but
yeah. So as always, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do. We are actually edging really close to 400, and it'd be awesome to hit that number, and then of course even 500 would be so cool. So please subscribe to our channel. You can like us on Facebook for updates and other information that you can check out, cool things that we're doing, conventions that we're going to, and that type of thing. And of course, check out all of our other videos. We've got some great Doctor Who interviews that have gone up, other reviews of iZombie and more. So please check all of those out.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up.
Yes, thumbs up are good. And then, of course, give us your thoughts on iZombie. And as we head into the summer season and all these shows kind of wrapping up their season finales. What should we watch this summer? What should we check out? And don't forget to go to your local comic book store. Saturday is free comic book day.
Free comic book day. If you have kids, take them. They have kids-friendly comic books as well.
Yes, and the comic book stores do have to pay for those. So if you are going in, try and find a way to support them by purchasing a couple extra comics and make sure that they know that you think they are awesome, because there are not enough local comic book stores. So yay!
If you are a Doctor Who fan, supposedly there is a special Doctor Who story in the Titan Doctor Who comic that is for free comic book day.
Ooh, exciting. All right, well, thank you guys for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.